Hey folks, Nick here from Another BookTube channel, and today I'll be talking about the year of Sanderson. Now, if you don't know, Brandon Sanderson is probably the biggest fantasy author in the world right now. His Stormlight Archive books, his Mistborn books are incredibly popular, and there's already like a meme around him that he's incredibly prolific because he writes big like door stopper books, but he's still able to put out one or even two a year. And he's got very lofty plans in the future. So his Stormlight Archive, which is 4 door stoppers long currently, is planned to be 10 door stopper books in the end. So he's already known for being prolific, but he completely shocked the world last year when he came clean and admitted that during the Panorama, he wrote 4 novels in secret. Like, I don't remember the full details. It's been a while since I watched the video, but I think it was even like a secret from his team. His publisher definitely didn't know, and he decided to do a Kickstarter campaign to release these books to the public. Now, the books did eventually get major releases just in bookstores, regular hardcovers. But the idea behind the Kickstarter was that backers would get high quality, like leather-bound editions, plus additional swag. So I bought into the Kickstarter. There were a few different levels of it. There was one level where you would get a new box of content like every single month. So you would get, there's 4 books, so there'd be 4 book boxes spread out once every quarter. And then the other months would have like just swag boxes and merch. I didn't go in for that one because it was a bit more expensive than I was willing to pay, so I can't speak to that level and whether or not it was worth it. I bought in at the most basic physical level, which is just the 4 book boxes. So I got 4 boxes during the year of Sanderson, and I am going to talk a little bit about what came in those boxes, my favorite like stuff that was in the boxes, and just talk about the books themselves and whether or not in the end it was worth the buy-in. Now, I did post unboxing videos of all 4 of the projects, so if you're interested in seeing like the full contents and how it was packaged and everything like that, go check those out. I recommend it because they were really nicely packaged and they were well boxed, and it was just a very, very fun, always fun to get one in the mail. So in that respect, it was very satisfying to actually receive the items. So the 4 books that were received were in this order. There was Tress of the Emerald Sea. There was The Frugal Wizard's Handbook for Surviving Medieval England. Then came Yumi and the Nightmare Painter. And then finally, there was The Sunlit Man. Now, the Kickstarter was not without its problems. There was a significant delay in a couple of these boxes. I don't remember the exact dates in which I got them, but I do remember the second book took forever, which was The Frugal Wizard's Handbook for Surviving Medieval England. That one, I think, was like 2 full months late. And it wasn't Camp Sanderson's fault or Team Dragonsteel's fault. It's not like he was late in editing the book. It wasn't like anything like that. It was simply just like printer issues. The companies that they got to actually print the book had delays of their own. There were shipping delays for a variety of reasons. So it was outside of Team Dragonsteel's ability to prevent. So I'm not going to hold them to that at all. Even though, I had to wait. Some people had to wait a really long time to get their books. I don't think it's fair to hold Team Dragonsteel accountable for that because they did everything that they could. They got the book out there. Everything was ready. They can't print it themselves. So that's that out of the way. Talking a little bit now about, I'll go into like categories here of like favorite stuff. Well, first I'll start actually with worst. I'll talk about my least favorite book that came out in this year, and that was The Frugal Wizard's Handbook for Surviving Medieval England. It's a non-Cosmere book, and it's more science fiction than fantasy, um, which is something that Sanderson is kind of edging into now, where a lot of his books are kind of becoming more and more sci-fi rather than fantasy. It's happening to Mistborn. It's kind of happening to Stormlight. So, that's just kind of a direction he's going in. But it was really, to me, a big dud. This was one of those books where it was like, this felt like an extra thing that maybe should have just been kept secret. It felt not fully developed. It felt incomplete. Nothing about it was really memorable. I don't remember a thing about it. And it's not like I read it that long ago. It was about, less than 6 months ago. So that book was a big misstep, in my opinion, and I don't have a copy of it. I gave away my copy. I did a giveaway on this channel earlier this year, where I gave it away to a lucky follower who I really hope that they're enjoying it, but I sent them not just the book, but the entire box that it came in. I gave them the box, the sticker that came with it, so they got the full experience of opening the box as though they had backed the Kickstarter. Now, it wasn't just books that came in these boxes. There was other swag. There was a bookmark that came in each box. There were stickers, which I've got some of those here. This is for Sunlit Man, Yumi, and Tress. The Frugal Wizard sticker I sent away in the giveaway box. But my favorite swag items were the enamel pins. I have them on my backpack now. I don't want to take them off, so I'll put a photo of them up here. But we got pins of Vin from Mistborn, Shallan from Stormlight Archive, Vasher from Warbreaker, and Kaladin from Stormlight Archive. And I was really, really happy with all 4 of those selections. I know maybe Shallan is a controversial one that I like, but I really like that character. I know that she's very divisive, but I really like that character. So I'm completely okay with having that pin. And they look really, really great. They're like little chibi versions, but they're not, which is not a style that I always love, but I do really like these. And the pin is a really good quality. And I happen to kind of collect enamel pins, so I have other ones. So this kind of fits in with my collection of that. Like, I have an actual use for enamel pins. They're not just going to sit and gather dust. So those were definitely my favorite swag items that came in the boxes. Now, these books were very, very well designed, both inside and out. So I'll talk a little bit now about my favorite interior art from any of the projects. And this one was tough because there were some really good artists that worked on all of these books. But I think when I flipped through and I looked at each picture one more time, I settled on Tress of the Emerald Sea and its interior art as my favorite, because it is probably the most like photorealistic art that any of the secret projects offered, and that's a style that I prefer over the more kind of manga style or Japanese inspired style of the rest of the books. Now, that being said, I think the art in Yumi is really beautiful. I do really enjoy it. It's just that totally a matter of preference. I like the photorealism of the images from the Tress book, and I'll have been posting some individual pictures of some of those while I'm talking here, so you can see what I'm talking about. Another reason I liked the Tress interior art was because, and I'll show pictures of this, but around the actual chapter titles themselves, there would be vines that grow out of them, and the vines grow and change as the book goes on. And I thought that was a really fun idea. Now, the interiors aside, there's also the gorgeous exterior of each book. And so I wanted to pick a favorite book design itself. And for that one, I went with Yumi and the Nightmare Painter. And the reason I chose that is because I really like the color palette. I like the blue. I like the red that's offsetting it. I like the gold foil. And I love the the dedication to the I don't want to give anything away about the book. So just the dedication to a certain aspect of the book by keeping a lot of the design inverted. So like the way that these two characters are kind of inverted, reaching out for each other. And even on the spine here, you'll see that some of the words are upside down. So that's also inverted. So it's reflecting something important from the actual contents of the book. And so I really like that as well. The back is pretty nice as well, but it's mostly just like that. It's mostly just the front and the spine. I think are great. And I love the color palette for it. So that is my favorite cover design of all of these books. There's not too much else to talk about except for which of these books was actually my favorite one. The which is the best reading experience, the book that I would most likely first read again. And for that one, I am going to go with Tress of the Emerald Sea, the very first Secret Project. I said it when I first reviewed it. I think that this is a book that a non-Brandon Sanderson fan can pick up and read and love right away. You don't need to have the full Cosmere lore to understand it. Might help some bits, especially the ending, but this is a great gateway book. It's very there's so much about this book. The magic system is incredible. The world is beautiful. The story's wonderful. The main character, Tress, is super, just great to follow along with. Everything about this book is just so warm and delightful and fun, but it's also got moments of great adventure and surprises. So this was just a great time from beginning to end. I thought it was absolutely wonderful. I think, what did I say? It felt like Kurt Vonnegut writing The Princess Bride. That's what I said in my initial review, and I stand by that. So if that's something that sounds interesting to you, then you might like Tress of the Emerald Sea. So where do we wrap up here? All right, let's talk money. Was this worth it? So the level that I bought into was $200. It was $160 for the actual books, and then it was $40 of shipping for all of them. So what that comes down to is $50 a book, essentially. Now, $50 a book for this kind of quality, like this level of design and effort and detail, plus the interior art, plus all of the swag that came with it, those pins on their own, if they were sold in stores, would probably be like $10 to $15. The stickers would be another maybe like $5 or something like that. The bookmarks would be another $5. So it ended up being a really good deal. Like, this is completely worth it. Considering I look at some special editions that I've bought for $50 that all they give you is just like a nice cover. Like, I got so much more with this than I would have with one of those other just kind of special editions that are just thrown on shelves by certain publishers. Now, also keep in mind, I gave away one of these books. So I really kind of paid the $200 for only 3 of them, because one of them, it's not here anymore. I can't look at it. I don't have it on my shelf. So even if you look at that as me spending $67 on each book, I still think that that's pretty worth it. And I'm completely satisfied because the books that I do have here, I will keep because they were great. They were a lot of fun. I will read them again. They also came with ebooks. So if I wanted to keep these, in pristine condition, I'll always have the ebooks to go back and read again. But these are very. I did actually read the Tress one physically. I read it half physically, half ebook, depending on where I was in the house. And they were very comfortable to read. And they were very pleasant to read. So there you go. The Year of Sanderson is done. I really enjoyed it. I think it was well worth it. I will say, if you didn't buy into it and you just waited for these books to come out in hardcover, just at a regular bookstore, that's fine too. I mean, honestly, if you didn't have the money to pay up front for all of these books to get this swag and stuff, don't feel like left out. Buy what you can and what you can afford. Don't stretch yourself thin to get something like this. But I would say that I personally, being able to make that purchase, I'm glad that I did. So I'll leave it at that. Let me know if you bought into the Year of Sanderson and whether you felt it was worth it or not, or if you didn't buy in and if you regret it, or if you're happy that you didn't. Let me know in the comments. Thank you for spending some time with me today, but now it's time to get back to reading.